What's good, everyone? OJ here. Welcome back to another video. Today we've got a bunch of interesting topics to go over, but before we get into that, please make sure you hit that like button, subscribe if you're someone new, and click that notification bell as we are marching towards the 100,000 subscriber mark on the channel. Thank you for your support over all of these years. But with that out of the way, let's go ahead and jump right into it. And we're starting off more with the Bayonetta 3 controversy and boycott calls from the original Bayonetta voice actor Hellena Taylor. Now, there has been a firestorm that started off this last weekend with the original voice actor talking to fans, telling them to boycott Bayonetta 3. Now, if you have not seen my previous two videos on this topic, I highly suggest you check those out because I go over all three of Miss Taylor's videos that she put out when it comes to the Bayonetta 3 boycott, and I also went over the reaction when it comes to what seems to be happening with the sales of the game, as the increased popularity of the Bayonetta name being out there just in this respect has potentially garnered more people to support the game, despite others saying that they're going to cancel their game or showing screenshots of them canceling their pre-order for Bayonetta 3. So there's been a lot happening. Check out those two videos. I will be referencing things from them, but I'll do my best to talk about it in a way to where everyone can get the information that's pertinent to the matter here. So in today's video, we're going to be discussing the new thing here in terms of a video where Miss Taylor was talking about the voice work she did for previous Bayonetta games, either Bayonetta 1 or Bayonetta 2. And in the video, which I will have linked for you guys, she states that she took 4 sessions, 4 hours long each, for a total of 16 hours for the previous voice work of a Bayonetta game.
Could you explain a bit more as to, you said you only had 2 minutes and had to take away the script. Was this for, how long did it take for recording and between the first line and until the project was done?
I recorded for 4 days.
Oh wow! You did the was that Bayonetta 1 and 2? Or was
half a day each, so four 4-hour sessions it took me.
Oh wow! I didn't think. I swear Bayonetta talked more than that.
Yeah, no, I'm very quick, and so's Chris Zimmerman Salter. It was literally do 3 lines of each line, and that's it. It's very quick.
So that has caused people to say, well, wait a minute, they're looking at maybe what she could have done in terms of the work or what was offered for the work for Bayonetta 3 and saying, well, the amount of money offered here seems to be somewhat reasonable or in line with what you would get paid for a voice acting work. Now, there is a lot of dimensions to this, guys. There's a lot of dimensions when it comes to what a voice actor is worth, their fame that comes with it, what they deserve if they've propped the franchise up. And I am not here to kind of sway on those waters or trend on those waters because I am not in that field, and I know that it can be tough for voice actors in terms of pay. And I think that the unionization of voice actors, which she is a part of that, along with the new Bayonetta voice actor Jennifer Hale for Bayonetta 3, they're both in the same union, and there has to be a minimum of money hit for any type of job for any union actor. So the money that was offered from Platinum Games and Nintendo to Ms. Taylor was within those means, but obviously she did not like that when it comes to the offer that she was given, which caused this firestorm with her videos and the calls for boycotts. So that's what prompted people to go digging for the interview and where she said certain things. So if her role in Bayonetta 3 was as big as her roles in the previous games, then it does seem like some people are saying, hey, she's getting paid $250 per an hour, or it's a fairly high amount per hour of work. But like I said, I'm not going to tread into that if it is or not. I just want to get you guys the information out there, and of course you guys can discuss amongst yourselves what you guys think. Now, my own personal opinion, I've talked about this a couple of times already. I feel sympathetic and empathetic towards her plea. I think that she's definitely someone who feels hurt hurt that she was replaced, because there is a little bit of a theory out there that, of course, the new voice actor, Jennifer Hale, obviously she didn't take $4,000, or maybe she was going to be the new main Bayonetta, with there being a multiverses of Bayonettas or multiple Bayonettas, like you can clearly see in the most recent trailer for the game. So maybe Miss Taylor was going to play the original Bayonetta that died and didn't have as much voice work, and then of course Jennifer Hale is going to take over as the current Bayonetta in that timeline. So there's a lot of information that is just missing. I also want to combine that with some of the sales information that was put out there, because I didn't talk about this too much, but Ms. Taylor goes on to say in one of her videos that the Bayonetta franchise has netted $450 million in revenue, and that doesn't include merchandising or animes or anything like that. However, there's not really any numbers that potentially show that. That would mean that there would need to be around 8-9 million units sold of all of the Bayonetta games combined, and that would be at a pretty generous price when it comes to the MSRP, right, of the game. So there's also some other types of information that isn't quite adding up. And I always say that when it comes to stuff like this, the truth is always kind of somewhere in between. It's either one side or another, or it's somewhere in between when you're dealing with large scale logistics, multiple people, multiple years, different types of games, all different types of stuff that's happening. So I think that it's somewhere in between there when it comes down to it. But it's interesting nonetheless. I think that right now there's just not enough information, in my opinion, to kind of really form a full-on this like black or white situation. There's definitely a lot of gray area here when it comes down to it. But like I stated before, you know, I'm not going to be personally boycotting the game. Everyone is their own person, so you can do what you feel like. But for me, I'm not going to. I'm going to play the game and enjoy it. I did not cancel my pre-order, but if you guys want to do that, that's completely fine. I'm just putting out the information there when it comes down to it, because I do like the other voice actors in the game. I want to see the developers, you know, get paid for their hard work as well, because it's more than just one person, you know, in my opinion at least. But I completely understand the other side. You know, if people want to do that, if that's what you want to do, that's cool. And I understand why she's so hurt, you know, when it comes down to it, because she put her heart and soul into playing Bayonetta for all these years. But what do you guys think about this when it comes to this new information here? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. All right, and moving on to the next topic here, guys. It looks like the highly rumored off and on Silent Hill game will finally get its big debut very soon, because Konami has officially put out a tweet saying just that. So according to the official Konami Twitter page, they had this to say about Silent Hill. In your restless dreams, do you see that town? The latest updates for the Silent Hill series will be revealed during the hashtag Silent Hill transmission on Wednesday, October 19th at 2 p.m. PDT. So this is very interesting, not because I'm a huge fan of Silent Hill. I'm not. I've always seen it as a ghetto Resident Evil that I never felt like playing. I've played the games before. I didn't find them really good, but I find this interesting because of all of the back and forth between my friends and the Spawncast with Nate from Nate the Hate and MVG. I've watched countless of the Nate the Hate podcasts and also Spawncast that I was on, where they spar back and forth if Silent Hill is actually real, with MVG saying nope, it's not happening, and Nate the Hate saying yes, it's happening, for like years now it seems. But it does seem like the day of reckoning is happening for MVG, and that's going to be on Wednesday, October 19th. So I'm going to have to live stream this. We're going to have to live stream this. We're going to have to live react to this, just because I want to know. I want to see what's going on. I want to have the information, and of course I want to hear what MVG's got to say too. So it would be interesting if he was streaming, or, you know, his thoughts on everything. We're definitely going to have to react to that or talk about it as well. But I'm just interested to see, for the franchise that's been gone for quite some time, and how are they going to bring this back, right? They had the whole PT situation that was a disaster with Kojima and shutting that down and everything like that. And now how are they going to bring this back? Is it going to be a remake? Is it going to be a remaster? Is it going to be a brand new game? Is it going to be multiple different titles? What are they going to do here with this? So I think it's going to be very interesting to see how it works out. And maybe I might get into it this time. Maybe they have some cool gameplay mechanics or new ideas or something that actually gets me into the Silent Hill franchise. But yeah, for right now, not really excited for the game, more for the theatrics surrounding it and what happened to this moment to get to where we are. So what do you guys think about Silent Hill, a brand new transmission coming back? What would you like to see from the franchise on Wednesday, October 19th at 2 p.m. PDT? Let me know in the comment section below. All right, and moving on to the next topic here, guys, we do have a confirmation of frames per second gate. This is happening now, and it seems like PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series games are not getting performance modes in some of these new titles that are coming out. And the latest game is Gotham Knights, confirmed to be locked at 4K 30 frames per second on consoles, with 4-player co-op mode coming and 2-player co-op mode available at launch. So the original story was this, that they reported, or there was an article saying that it was 30 frames per second and there was no performance mode. Now that was just a post, I think, like on a Discord and everything like that, so it wasn't a confirmation completely, but it definitely seemed like, yeah, that was happening, because another, I think, Warner Bros. Developer talked about it. So he was basically defending the situation with 30 frames per second when everyone started blowing up online, getting mad, saying that they're canceling their pre-orders. He was saying that he wished that gamers understood what it takes to get that. Now we have an official update from a Warner Bros. Games Montreal source, and here's what they had to say. This was from Wccftech that reported on this. Quote, a representative for WB Games Montreal confirmed on the official Gotham Discord that the game is locked to 4K 30 frames per second on Xbox Series X and Xbox Series S and the PlayStation 5, with no performance mode offered. While it seems a somewhat dubious claim, they say this is largely due to the game's large open world and co-op features, and offering 60 frames per second would not be a simple matter of lowering resolution / visual features. Now, this was interesting because, like I said, on the Spawncast, people were very angry about this, and I talked about it, you know, on Twitter. People were very angry about it and very mad that this game wouldn't offer that performance mode because they have bought shiny new consoles, and a lot of people felt that that was a thing of the past with 30 frames per second with these performance modes. Now, this game, Gotham Knights, does have a massive open world, does have global illumination, like one of the developers said, and dynamic time of day, and some of these features that would definitely make it a pretty intensive game to run. And I'm not a developer, so I don't know everything that goes into it. Now, there's been some comparisons out there. People talk about Batman Arkham City and how that game looks better. But there's more to it than that, right? Obviously, there's more to it in terms of what's happening in the city and kind of what's going on and the co-op and those type of things. But I find it to be interesting, nonetheless, that you're starting to see games on PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series that don't have performance mode. Very interesting to see if other developers are going to also have that too, or if that's going to be something that really isn't that widespread of a thing with PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series S/X. Now, there's even been some thought process out there based off of one of what the developers said, that the Xbox Series S is to blame for those type of things, and I'm not so sure. We don't really know. I don't know. I'm not a developer, and he didn't work on the game either. He was just simply commenting on it. So I don't know, guys. What do you guys think about this whole situation when it comes to the 30 frames per second gate with Gotham Knights? Are you still planning on picking up the game? Were you never going to get it at all? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. All right, and moving on to the final topic here, guys, we've got a brand new video with Octopath Traveler 2 showing off Hikari, the warrior, a brand new intro video, and it's looking really good. And you guys know this, I'll never miss the opportunity to talk about Octopath Traveler 2, because this is one of the most incredible looking games from an artistic standpoint that I've seen. It completely marries that 2D aesthetic, that Super Nintendo aesthetic, with the love and care and power of what we've got now here in modern systems, and I absolutely love it. I think that Octopath Traveler 2 is going to be a huge upgrade over the original Octopath Traveler, as it's been multiple years since that game released, and I'm almost positive they've been working really hard to fix so many of the issues that the original Octopath Traveler had. So I think that this game is really going to go above and beyond that. Some of the things that I already like that they've showed off with this game is the fact that you have like the night and day, different types of actions that you can do. I love the graphics in the game. They really intensified the HD 2D and made the game even look better. Easily the best looking HD 2D game to date, and we just said that with Live Alive. I also like what they've done with the combat in the game and adding in some new super attacks and everything. It looks like they've kind of overhauled some of the overworld features in the game and also made a full connecting story with all of the different travelers slash heroes in the game. So they have definitely beefed things up quite a bit, and I think that it's going to be an incredible story when it comes down to everything. So I'm very much looking forward to all of the little things as well. Some things that I know I'm hoping for with the game is the fact that you don't have to switch out your party members in order for them to get the experience. I wish that if they're in the reserve, they still can get their experience, or maybe even they can travel with you at any time and you can switch, or maybe even have them in the background and bring them to the forefront in your party while you're fighting. I think that would be really cool, outside of just leaving them at the tavern and then having to switch there. So I'm not sure if they've already talked about that. You guys can let me know in the comment section if they have, but that's absolutely something that I'd love to see in Octopath Traveler 2 if they can. So what do you guys think about all the different topics that we discussed here? Let me know in the comment section below. All right, guys, that wraps it up for this video here. Thank you so much for watching. I do appreciate it. Please make sure you hit that like button, subscribe if you're someone new, click that notification bell, and we will see you for the next video. Peace.